All right, let's talk about generative AI. If you've been hearing all the buzz and you're thinking, okay, I want in, but where do I even begin? Well, you've come to the right place. Think of this as your roadmap. We're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a super clear path to navigate this amazing new world. So let's dive in.
Look, it's totally normal to feel a little overwhelmed. I mean, new tools, new research papers, new headlines, they're dropping every single day. It can honestly feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose, right? But that's exactly why we're here. We're going to help you turn that fire hose into a nice, steady stream and give you a real, actionable plan for your journey.
So, what is all the fuss about, really? Well, it all comes down to this one huge shift. For years and years, AI was kind of like a detective. It would look at a bunch of data, find patterns, and then make a prediction. But now it's also become an artist. It's stepping into the role of a creator. And that brings us to what generative AI actually is. It doesn't just analyze what's already there. Nope. It takes everything it's learned, basically all the text, images, and sounds from the internet, and uses that as a kind of inspiration to make something brand new. Something that has never existed before. We're talking a new poem, a working piece of code, a ridiculously realistic image, or even a whole song. That ability to generate, that is the absolute key. But to really get a handle on where we are now and where you're going, we've got to take a quick look back at how we got here. This whole thing didn't just explode overnight. It's actually the result of a long and pretty fascinating journey of evolution. So, way back in the 80s, AI was, well, it was basically a simple calculator with hard-coded rules. If this happens, then do that. Then in the 2000s, machine learning came along, where we could show a computer, say, a million pictures of a cat, and it would actually learn what a cat looks like. Deep learning took that a huge step further, using these brain-like things called neural networks to understand way more complex stuff. Each step was built on the one before it, taking us from simple rules to recognizing things, and now, all the way to creating things. Okay, so now that we've got our bearings, we've arrived at the most important part of our map. There's a fork in the road, and honestly, this is the first and probably the biggest decision you're going to make on your learning journey. You've got two main paths you can choose. The first one is what we'll call the user perspective. This is for folks who see these incredibly powerful AI models and think, wow, I want to build something amazing with that. The second path is the builder perspective. This is for the people who want to pop the hood open, get their hands dirty and really understand the deep mechanics, maybe even design the next generation of these models. So the question for you is pretty simple. Do you want to build with the tool, or do you want to build the tool itself? All right, so let's go down that first path. Let's say you've decided, yep, I'm a user, I want to build applications. What exactly do you need to pack in your toolkit for this adventure? So for a user, the skills are super practical. First up is prompt engineering. That's basically the art of asking the AI the right questions to get the absolute best results. Then you've got this thing called RAG. Think of it like giving the AI a specific stack of textbooks to read right before it answers your question, so its knowledge is super fresh and tailored to what you need. And finally, you'll need to master APIs. They're kind of like universal adapters that let you plug the power of models from places like OpenAI or Anthropic right into your own apps. But what if you're the kind of person who hears a car engine and your first thought is, I wonder how that works? Well, then let's head down the other path. This isn't a toolkit, my friend. This is the builder's blueprint. This is for becoming an AI architect. This path, just so you know, gets way more technical. You're going to dive deep, and I mean deep, into the architecture of transformers. That's the revolutionary model design that's the engine inside things like ChatGPT. It's what allows AI to understand language and context. You'll learn how to fine-tune these models for specific jobs. You'll understand the massive process of pre-training. And you'll even learn how to take the latest academic research paper and turn it into actual working code. So, you've seen the two paths. Now, let's have a little real talk about the journey itself. No matter which road you pick, it's so important to have a realistic idea of the time and effort it's going to take. 1 year. Just let that sink in for a second. That's really the key number to keep in your head. Whether you're going the user route or the builder route, becoming really good at generative AI isn't something you do in a weekend workshop. You should plan for about a year of dedicated, consistent learning. It's the steady turtle, not the sprinting hare, that's going to win this race for sure. Okay, so let's wrap this all up with 3 key takeaways for your journey. First, you've got to get comfortable with learning all the time. This field moves at lightning speed. The map is always changing. Second, embrace the commitment. Seriously, think of this as a major but super rewarding project. And third, and this might be the most important one, be consistent. A few focused study sessions every single week will build up momentum and get you to where you want to go so much faster than trying to cram once a month. And so here we are, right back where we started, at that fork in the road. We've laid out the map for you, we've looked at the history, and we've defined the two paths. Now there's only one question left, and it's for you. Are you going to be the one building incredible applications with these tools? Or are you going to be the architect, building the tools of the future? User or builder? Which path will you choose?